Now we want to look at projectile formula you need to know as a JAMB or WAEC student or any science student you want to be. So projectile means the parabolic movement of an object in a free space. So what I mean by parabolic is something that goes like this. Now you can have something that is moving straight when you throw something vertically or you shot a gun vertically upward like this. So that gun will reach at a point, it will fall back. Now this is not a projectile, right? When also you throw something straight forward, this is not a projectile. So it must be in a parabolic way to be a projectile. Now there are two types of this projectile or ways you can project an object. You can project an object from a height, the first one. So let's say this is a height, you throw something horizontally and it reaches the what? The ground level. Now this is the height in which you stand on the person stand to throw that object. Now here is the distance from the height to the what? To the place that the object falls. Now, the formulas you need to know about this is the distance is equals to ut, that is the velocity that is moved by that particular object multiplied by the time. And then also you have to know the height. The height is equals to half gt squared. So these are two formulas you need to know for this particular expression. But most times, if you want to find the height, you might not be given the time. Or if you want to find the distance, you might not be given distance. So you can use this one to find the time. Hence, we have another formula. From this formula, we can make t the subject of the formula. Making t subject of formula, the formula will now become t is equals to the root of 2h over g. This is for calculating what? Time. All right? To be able to solve this question that have this. I'm going to give you a question like that. Now, the next shape that you have to consider is when a body moves, not thrown it from a height, it is thrown from a plane, this particular plane over here. So if a body is thrown like this with a velocity v and then an angle theta, as that body is moving, it's going to reach a point whereby the force pulling it is going to reduce due to the gravitational pull on that ball. And once that force is no more, the ball will start what? Falling down. Now that greatest height that the ball reaches to fall down is what we know as the maximum height. All right. So this particular place becomes the range of that projectile body. What is the velocity? Now the velocity at this point is zero. The velocity here is zero, so it reach at zero, it starts what? Falling down. Now there are four formulas you need to know for this particular types of question or projectile. The first formula is the time of flight. Now, when this motion or the ball or the object is at flight, is from this point to this other point here. This is where the time of flight stops. So from here now is where it starts what? Falling down. Now the time of flight is the time taken for this ball from this place to reach to this other place. And that is given by small t equals to u sine theta over g. Now we have another one called total time of flight. Remember that time of flight is from here to here, but total time of flight is the time taken for the whole flight. This is from here to this place, from this whole place. Now you can see that this measurement and this measurement are the same thing. So the time of flight here is also this, and the time of flight is also. So now the total time of flight will now be 2 times this particular formula that will give you time. So we'll now give you the total time of flight. And that total time of flight presented by t, which is now going to be 2 multiplied by u sine theta over g. And the other formula you need to know is the formula for the maximum height, which is what? 8. Now the maximum height is given by u square sine square theta over 2g. Now, What do we mean by sine square theta? Most of them find it difficult. What you're going to do is, if you're given the angle of projection, you first of all get the sine of that angle, and then you now square it. So this is supposed to be in this form, sine theta square. So when you sine the angle, you square it. So if we now open the brackets, we will now have what? Sine square theta. So that is how we arrive at this expression. Now, the other formula you need to know finally is the range. Now, the range is given by u square sine 2 theta. This one is square theta, this one is 2 theta. So this one you sine first before you square, but this one now you multiply the theta, the angle of projection, by 2 before you now what? Sine, and then you divide it by what? Simple gravity, which is what? G. Now, another thing you have to know is the when you want to store an object, in order for that object to reach a greatest height, you are going to make sure that you throw it at a range of 4 to 5. So the maximum range that an object is going to reach is when it is shown at an angle of what? 45 degrees. Now, once we have an angle of 45 degrees, the range value is going to change. Now, when the range value is going to change is that if I should use this formula, which is R equals u square sine 2 theta. Now, since to achieve a maximum range, I'm going to throw an object with an angle of 45. So substituting that 45 here, you will know that 2 times 45 will give us what? 90 degree. But let me still continue over G. So I have u square sine 2 times 45 will give me what? 90 degree. Now sine 90 degree is 1. So this expression, which is the formula for range, will now become R equals u sine u square. Sine 90 is 1. So need the opportunity to just divide by what? G. So this becomes the range formula once the angle of projection is 45 degree. All right, so these are the formula. Make sure you memorize it and you know when you ask question on it. Now, the only question we are going to try on this particular video is, it says a body is projected. A body is projected horizontally, with a velocity